Hello, hello, hello. Guess who's behind here? You guessed it. It's Vision Coach Alicia, and tonight it is Friday night. And as every Friday night, I am always here ready with a very special guest. And you see who my guest is tonight. Her name is Jay Chanel, and she is a producer, she is a film maker and an author. And every Friday night, I love to come and sit around the table with a great guest for interesting conversation. Have me something to drink while I'm here tonight. I'm drinking lemonade. So if you're going to be here with me, go and get yourself something and come on in and sit around the table. But before you do that, invite someone to come on in and join us tonight in this conversation, because this is going to be a great conversation tonight. If you've never tuned into the show before, you will understand as we get going that we are full of just being authentic, being ourselves, and just coming to you every Friday night live so that you can have a night of fun and relaxation. So without any further delay, I'm going to bring this young lady to the stage so that we could start our conversation. So come on up. There she is, Jay Chanel. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I am great, and I am so excited that you said yes and that you're here with me tonight on the show. I am just checking my monitor, connecting with a few people tonight, making sure that our audience are ready for what they're going to get here tonight with you.
Sounds good to
Because
me.
just Jay, huh?
Yeah.
So listen, you notice I didn't ask you for a bio, right?
No, it's not needed.
Not needed, because I don't do that. What I do is I let you be you. So what I need you to do is just tell somebody, whatever it is, tell our listening audience what it is you want them to know about you and who you are.
My name is Jay Chanel. First and foremost, thank you for having me on your platform. Uh, I am God's daughter. I am someone that has accepted the assignment to be a force for my era. I'm a filmmaker and soon will manifest to be one of the most powerful women film producers in the industry. I am an author. I am a mom, and I am a good person. And I believe that my goal and my mission is community. So everything that I do as far as my career path is all to bridge the gap within community. So I guess
Amen. That is so good. Now, tell me, in introducing yourself, you said that you are, what are you? You are a Gen Z or a what's that? What's that all
I'm
about?
a millennial.
You're a millennial. That means you're a what? The
That
time
means
period in which you were born?
yeah, our era, the millennial
Okay.
era, and then there's the baby boomers.
I guess that's, am I a baby boomer or am I something older than that?
You're in the booming area.
Okay, okay. Be kind to me, because you said you are a nice person and I like nice people. But I am just so absolutely excited that you're here, because I've seen you grow into who you are. I've seen you face challenges, but the one thing that I can say is that you have the never give up mentality. What does it take to stay in the game when you really feel like quitting?
I would say for one, that's that test of faith. It's a test of faith moment to where you decide it's either this is going to you're going to get the pain and stopping or the pain and keep going. And I rather have the pain and keep going because it's a good pain. It's just like going to the gym. When you're working out, the muscle pain don't feel good afterwards, but you continue to push forward because you're liking the results by keep going. So with that knowledge and the knowledge of trouble just don't last always.
Yes,
I keep going.
that is the word. Trouble don't last always. And listen, um, I'm gonna go back a little bit so I could come forward. Um, because I've known you through different stages of your life. I've seen
You guys,
you
my whole life, okay?
right through different stages of your life. I remember you serving in my ministry
Yeah.
way back then, and you were always creative. And I always knew that about you. I remember you being a praise dancer.
Yeah.
I remember you being artistic.
Yeah.
And one of the things that, well, I do remember is your love for the children.
Yeah.
So there is so much. So when you said that you are community minded, it just put me back there because I remember how you took care of the kids. And I have seen you over the years do charity events. I've seen you put together things. So what um what is your latest project that you're doing for community right now?
Being that I'm new in my community right now is just supporting the local businesses. There's so many businesses in our community that deserves the support. And also I'm establishing more community events that I'll be having out here. And as far as the youth go, I'm not going to be doing too much until, as far as for the outward community, until around June. But I am going to be releasing a children book collection very, very soon.
Oh, that is exciting. A
And I,
children's book collection. I cannot wait. Listen, I want to talk about an era and a time that pushed you to keep you going to where you are now. And if you would just tell us a little bit about it, when you first started to write, um, now your movie is Not a Victim, but
yeah.
I remember when you did the play that was called I Am Not a Victim. Would you tell us a little bit about that era? Because I can truly remember going to Hollywood and packing out a theater for that particular event. And that's what I mean when I said never giving up, because that event was not easy to pull off.
No, it
But
wasn't.
you did it, and there was not a seat left in the theater. Tell us a little bit about your beginnings as far as knowing that you were going to be a producer, a filmmaker. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, in all honesty, since I was a little girl, writing was always my first nature. I just liked to write. I was a little girl that wrote on a little typewriter. When my class assignments in elementary, I was the demo for my homework saying this is how your work should look. And during the different time spans in my life, I realized that I have a gift in writing, whether it was healing, whether it's just writing, just my thoughts, journaling, blogging for the day, whatever it was, there was a gift there. It took me to, I was fortunate enough to go through the, I would call it beautiful struggle of a painful relationship that actually thrust my writing to go even forward. And I was laying in my pillow, believe it or not, and I was crying, and I was just, it was like a sadness that was just over me, and all I heard was just like a small voice. And I always say that's when I really learned God's voice that just said not a victim. And so that pivoted me. Literally that midnight I woke up and I just start writing. So at the time when I was writing, the thought wasn't I'm going to become this. The thought was, I'm writing this, not knowing why I'm writing it, but knowing that eventually it will become something and I will become someone out of it. But all I did was what I knew to do was write. God, you know what he says, one plants and another one waters, and God brings the
Yes.
increase. So I think that's when it started. And then it was like, okay, here I wrote this. Now what? And it reminded me back in high school when I wrote a play for high school, and the teacher wrote like an A and like 3+ signs, and was like, if you continue to write, you're going to go so far with your writing. And so that reminded me of when I finished writing during that time, I was going through stuff. That reminded me of her words. I said, you know what? I want to make something out of it. So I start to pay attention to how people were putting on plays. And I'm like, I could do that. Like, I don't think it'll be too hard. So then, just start questioning people. And then I was exposed to other women that wanted to share a similar story to mine. There were some I knew that been through human sex trafficking. There were some I knew been through the abuse. There was some I knew that been through horrible things in their life. And I shared what I did, and that helped them become unmute. So then it made me realize that this is really a movement that's going to really happen if I just keep going. So that led me to connecting the dots, and like you said, eventually becoming the mastermind with God. Thank you, Jesus, on my side.
Yeah.
Of learning how to put together a play. Mind you, I did not go to school at the time for any of this. It was just learning through trial and error. And then that pivoted me to go ahead and go to school for it. So in the midst of me doing the footwork on producing a play, I was also a student. And I was learning while I was doing hands-on experience. And so from there, once I did that show at the Stellar Adler, and shout out to my team that really helped me during that time, because one thing I've learned, that even when you feel like you're at your best, it still takes a certain level of grace for people to trust your vision. And so what helped me during this writing journey is the people that trust me and in my vision, and said, we have your back during those seasons. And so from there, I decided that why stop here? If I could do this show, where else can I do this at? So then I
Now, you are speaking about doing the show in Hollywood,
yes,
the play. When you did the play in Hollywood, you felt if you had accomplished doing that, that it was time for you to keep going
yes,
and go for bigger.
yes.
Okay, let me say this to you. I am so excited, and I think that right now is the time for me to say this, because at the Grammy Awards this weekend, a young man from St. Thomas Virgin Islands won a Grammy.
Awesome.
He was a young man that said he was going to keep going. He was not going to stop. He left the Virgin Islands, where I'm from, with $35 in his pocket.
Wow.
And he stood, I think been a period of 15 or 17 years that he's been doing this. And on Sunday, he actually won a Grammy. And so I understand not giving up in those areas, because I'm going to tell you the truth. When you did that play that night and I was there, I felt like I won a Grammy just just being there and being in the presence of the quality of how you put the show on. The people that and the characters that you had in that show, they were something else. And so I understand when you said it's not just you, but it was the others. Listen, you are watching right now at this time Around the Table talk show. I am Vision Coach Alicia, and every Friday night I come here with a guest, and tonight I have a superstar that is my guest, and I'm so excited because we are speaking about her journey of coming to become a filmmaker and a producer. Jay, just for a minute, I can
Yes.
see that some people are speaking in the comments, and
Okay.
I don't have it going, so I want to see what they're saying. Good evening, Sanika. How are you? Thank you so much, Maureen. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let's see who else is there. No one else is commenting, but we have quite a few people watching. You can comment. You can ask a question if you'd like. Sanika said, movement, mastermind, student, and learning. And she also says blessings to us as
Thank you.
well. Maureen says, awesome. Thank you so much, you all. Share this out so some other people could come in and continue to hear this fantastic conversation that we're hearing. Okay, so now you started to say you complete that and then you on to the next step. So where do we go from here?
So from here, we went to me having it at the Stellar Adler in Los Angeles. Then I traveled to San Bernardino and I had it at a theater out there.
Uh-huh.
And then that led me to an open door for Las Vegas, Nevada. And I had it out there. And that was really a great high anticipation show. And I'm so happy that you said quality, because one thing that a lot of people try to shy away from is the trial and error to get better. I want to stop and say that I really learned how to become of more better quality as I grew from not giving up and learning through trial and error. So it is a blessing to go through those stages. And so when I went to Vegas, I felt like we were sharper and we were more ready, to the point where at the end of that show, it was such a encore moment, to where I'm like, I'm ready to just go ahead and write part 2.
Okay.
And so what a lot of people don't know, I think I shared before a few times, but this is my first time really saying that the movie would happen accidentally on purpose, because I was going to school again. This was in the span of 2016, I believe, through 2018. I was going to school. I was fighting like a horrible stage of stress and depression during that time as well. And I was still trying to figure out if this is something I wanted to potentially continue to do, because I still felt like I was healing as I was going. And so I just wanted just to stop and be like, I don't want to do it. But it took everything in me not to, versus to stop. I'm like, no, like I said, the pain, and just keep going. And so I felt like I'm getting the muscle gain of business and the muscle gain of a new level of prosperity that I wasn't used to. And sometimes the fear of the unknown can stop us. And so because I didn't let it stop me, I wrote part 2 of the play, because now I'm just like, okay, I can write a little bit. And I learned so much during school. So I had a professor at the time, Professor Giggly. I thank God for him, who used to show the preview of my play in his class. And so he always used to use me as an example and say, I know you're going to go far. I could just see you right now getting your EGOT.
Yes,
And
yes.
so, long story short, he connected me with some great people during that time. And when I made part 2 of the play, the pandemic happened. So now the world is shut down. And this is another reason why I could have said, I'm just going to stop, because the world says we can't do anything but stay home.
Yes.
Well, I believe that sometimes, actually, not even sometimes, we all know that everything works together for the good. So I was crying. I always tell the story on my cousin's balcony in Vegas saying, what am I going to do? I was like, everything about my whole vision just stopped. And I was like, what am I going to do? Here I am about to make part 2, and the whole world then shut down. And he looked at me, and sometimes it just takes the foolish things. And he says, don't you go to school? He reminded me who I was. He said, don't you go to school? Don't you write? Isn't this what you do? You just graduated with a film and television production degree. Make use of it. And so that was the light bulb where I'm like, you're right. I'm going to do a film. In the middle of the pandemic,
Pandemic. Wow.
I shot it, that accidentally on purpose. Part two of the play end up being the film, and so I combined it all together and I made it one feature film.
Ooh, this is so good. I'm telling you, when you don't quit, when you know your purpose and you put God first, He is able to do everything. Listen, we're going to stop for just a moment and spotlight our sponsor of this show for tonight, which is Cash Indeed Taxes. And tonight we are spotlighting, this is February. Everybody wants extra money. And so you need to go ahead and give her a call and get your taxes done. You can reach her at 888-415 cash. 888-415 cash or 760-885-1955. And she's located in Victorville, California. But she does taxes for anyone, anywhere. You don't have to be in California to have her take care of your taxes. And that's not the only thing that she does, but we're highlighting tax season right now. So go ahead and give Cashmere a call. Let her know that you saw her spotlight on Around the Table and ask her what does she have special for you. It might be a surprise that you're not expecting. So again, this is our spotlight tonight, and we'll come back one more time with our spotlight. But let's get back. Let's get back to our guest this evening. So let's talk about this. Now you've written the movie, and what happens?
So now I wrote the movie, and like I said, my professor, I had let him know like I turned that play into a film. And at first it was a short film. And he was just so in congrats with me, and he connected me with his great friend named Joel Bender. Joel Bender, he has an ad out. He's well known. He's known as the grandfather of Hollywood. He's a well-known editor. And so I met him, and then I showed him the film and we had a conversation, and he agreed to be the editor of the film. And so that everything, I would say, just start happening, the domino effect. One thing start happening after another, and everything I learned in school, I started applying that knowledge plus what I've already been doing as far as business goes. And that pivoted me into creating the short film. Now, the short film was it was going to be featured in film festivals, but for some reason those doors kept closing for me. And things like I said earlier, that could have stopped me. I didn't let those closed doors stop me, because I during that time frame and what I was going through in my personal life, I just knew that God opens doors that no man could shut. So instead of complaining on the doors that kept closing when I kept trying to pitch the film and it was getting denied and I wasn't getting the calls back, I just kept saying, God, thank you for the closed door. Lead me to my open ones. And so that allowed the open ones to really come, because of, I would say, I was giving things with a grateful heart. And I felt like during that time I was going through my Job experience.
Okay.
If I could say that, everyone knows what that experience is like. And so I got a call. No, actually, I ended up going to Vegas with the same cousin who told me to make the film and let them know the film was made. And so his fiance had said, why don't you think of distribution? And so that conversation led into another open door where I had a distribution conversation with the company. And during that conversation, I submitted my short film, and I'm just like, this is it. This is going to be it for me. And in August of 2022, I had got the email in high praise of my accomplishment, just as a beginning filmmaker that was able to complete something, actually start something and finish.
Okay.
And so they said it was great quality. They enjoyed it. However, because it was a short film, they denied it. And they had said if it was a potential feature film, we could further discuss distribution. And so, as sad as I was during the time, Wisdom said, "Go read it again." And so I read that email 5 times, and sometimes you got to get out your emotions, okay?
Yes,
Get out
yes.
your emotions and get in the spirit and let wisdom really speak to you during these times that you want to shut down. And so they never said no. In that email, they had said if this was. And so when I realized that what was being requested, I said I'm gonna keep going and I'm going to do what they want and see what happens. Whether it's for yes with them or someone else or however it works, it's gonna work. And so I told them, give me another chance. I will come back with what they requested. In September, I believe, I wrote the script. And in November, we filmed the second half of that feature film in 2 days. And in December, my editor was done, Nolan at the time when Joe ended up passing. So we passed the project to Nolan. And so
This is in 2022.
yes, this is all
Okay.
in 20 from August to December
Okay.
2022. And this just shows you how quick things can happen when you have the right faith of and know that God's going to come through.
Yeah.
And so again, August they denied me. September I wrote the script. I believe it was the September I wrote the script and I actually called the actors and we filmed the rest of the film in 2 days. I submitted it to my editor, and in December, he sent it back. And December 28th, I cannot forget the dates. December 28th, I sent it back to that same distribution company that told me no in August. And then January 1st, I get an email saying congratulations. We want to move forward with further distribution. And one thing led from there.
What a story. That is so exciting. Let's just check our audience and see what they're saying. I am just so excited because for me this is really very personal. Those
Yes,
of you
it
don't
is.
know, this is my baby. She grew up with me. And I know what she's gone through and what she went through to be where she is today. And so I'm super excited. You are sitting around the table and we're chopping it up tonight with producer, director, and author Jay Chanel. And we're going to come right back and she's going to share some very important information with you. But for a minute, I want to see what our audience is saying, if they're asking any questions. Oh, thank you, Coach. Coach Ann is saying, I am so proud of you. Noreen, thank you so much for dropping in. Good evening to you too. Let's see what when you know your purpose and you put God first, you can do anything. That's right. To God, thank you for the closed doors that lead to open doors. That was a really great statement that you said. And then Maureen says, I am so excited for you, for your continued blessings and success. So there are people out there that is rooting for you. We know that you are going to be do your thing. I don't want to brand you, but Ava, you better watch it. It's coming. But that's the thing, that those are the ones that will open doors, and we have to know that what God has for us is for us, but there are people that will open doors for us, just like your editor opened up a door for you. So now that all of this happened, tell me what happened recently. Streaming.
So when the conversation for the distribution company was signed, sealed, and delivered, I got my distribution date in August of last year, 2023. My feature film, well, the play Not a Victim, that turned into a short film, Not a Victim, that is now a feature film, Not a Victim, is officially streaming on Tubi,
Yes.
Hoopla, Vudu, Roku, regular
Slow
TV
down,
now.
slow down. We want to hit each one.
They're
Go again.
streaming on
On
Tubi.
what?
They're streaming on Tubi,
Tubi,
Hoopla,
Hoopla.
Amazon Prime,
Uh huh.
Roku,
Uh huh.
um, Vudu,
Okay.
regular TV.
Listen, listen, listen. I want to invite you all to go and watch this. I've watched it twice already. I watched it because I had to see some of the actors that were in there that I knew, and I watched it twice. So I want you to go to one of these streaming channels and look for Not a Victim. Sit down and watch this movie that this awesome young lady, Jay Chanel, has directed and produced. My favorite character was what's her name again? The little lady.
Oh, Miss Rose.
Miss Rose. Miss Rose is a character. I love Miss Rose. And then there's a character on there that's called Gertie. You did a great job. And I'm going to go to one area right now. But I want to make sure that you all go on these streaming channels and support her. Watch it. If you watch it, that means she gets support and she can go further than she is now. Because listen, Tyler Perry is not going to be around forever. And we have to make sure that we feed into those that are coming behind that will be able to step in and do. I'm not going to say take his place. I'm not going to say take anybody's place, because I believe that everybody will stand on their own 2 feet for what God has for them, but they will be able to function and do some of the things that others have done because they've opened up the doors for them.
If you look at my picture, this is what they're doing. It's just passing the baton.
Passing the baton. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I want to talk about one of the characters in your film, your movie. And he happens to be your son.
Yes,
How does it feel working with your son?
It felt great. It was a learning experience for the both of us. So there were trying times, and there were those times where we just had to take a deep breath, because I can't be mom, I had to be the director.
Yes. And he's a teenager, right?
He's a teenager. Yeah. So, a teenager learning business, and what better way to learn it from his mom or a parent. And I think that was a very important experience for us. Usually after the set, we will debrief and, talk about the set and how we felt during the time. But it was a great experience for him to see something, and also I can say, Mom, Mommy did it first. Despite what acting is he does have in Hollywood. I really did this film in honor of him and to support his future career in acting. So this was very, very a great moment for us in my family, because there was other family members within the film too.
Within the film, yes, that is awesome. Listen, I'm going to put her email up here. And if any of you would like to email her and contact her and just speak with her, this is how you can contact her for right now. jpro16@gmail.com. Real easy to remember. jpro16@gmail.com. Who knows, she may be able to use you in one of her up and coming films. Just for point of contact, this is her email. Contact her and have a conversation with her about the movie. So let me ask you this question. What's next?
I had this conversation the other day, and I said, I could really name so many things on what's next, but I really want to just narrow it down and say next is another unload and unleashing of greatness. Of course, there's more catalogs of films coming. Everyone wants to know, will there be a part two of Not a Victim? And I just want to let you guys know that there's going to be many things that come from that. But in the meantime, I am out the box and I am really going to show a more creative sides of me and from where I grew from that time up until now. There's still a lot of books coming. I have one book that I've written called Go Morning. It's on Amazon that I self-published. And I have three other books that I help co-write for inmates and people who just got out of prison. And so that's another thing that I'm doing, just community work. And so the event that I had called My Black is Everything, I want to make that more of a pivotal mark as well for the community, because again, as a youth advocate, like you acknowledge, I am someone that loves, my heart yearns for the youth, because we got to pass the baton. And so next is just another level of unstoppable greatness.
I am telling you, you are just awesomeness. Let's just spotlight our sponsor one more time, and then I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. But I want to make sure that people know that they can get their taxes done through her. She is Cashmere, and the name of the business is Cash Indeed. She is located in Victorville, but you can be anywhere and she will be happy to do your taxes. The numbers that you can get in contact with her is 888-415 cash, KASH, cash, and the other number is 760-885-1955. That's the year I was born, so I guess all of y'all will know my age by now. 1955. What a coincidence! But 760-885-1955 cash and Cash Indeed. Get your taxes done, get your money back, make good investments with your lives. Don't spend it all in one place, and enjoy your 2024. Don't do the same thing that you did in 2023 with your tax return. Let's do something different this year. Okay, Jay, let's just touch on this. Let's see, there's 5 other people that are commenting. Let me see what's going on here. Hi, Aggie. How you doing? Thank you so much. Trace, Tanya, thank you. They're saying to tell you congratulations. My assistant is on top of everything that needs to be done. She already put your email in the chat. She's done. She just does what she's supposed to do without me even asking her what needs to be done. Hi, Mary. How are you? And there's someone else that I know that's saying blessings. So Jay, when you're finished, please share this out so that your friends can see it. I understand that you millennials do not do Facebook, so
I shared it on my page. I shared it on my page.
Yeah, but it's okay. I want to ask you this before we wrap it up tonight. Is anyone out there and I called a couple of names, but because let me just ask a question. Is there anyone out there that's a filmmaker or producer right now that you look up to, or is your favorite the way they produce films or anything? Is there anyone out there for you?
I am a big fan of Ava DuVernay. I am a big fan of Ava DuVernay. I'm a big fan of Issa Rae.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of all the local filmmakers that are out here putting in work day in, day night, because I know the long nights and sacrifice of a filmmaker. So even to the local filmmakers, there's too many to name. You guys know who you are. I am very inspired by them as well, that we're a community within ourselves, but we just keep going. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so what would you say to someone who is now where you were 15 years ago in this beginning stage? Like I said, I had the opportunity to see you grow I had the opportunity to see you develop and not give up, and when you could have given up, when you
Yeah.
could have thrown in the towel. So what would you say to someone that is now wearing the shoes that you were wearing 15 years ago?
I would tell that person that although the puzzles of the pieces seem shattered right now, eventually the puzzles of the pieces to the puzzle come together. And sometimes you have to weather that storm with the faith that trouble don't last always. And
Amen.
you can be peaceful in a chaotic environment and still
Yes.
keep the peace if you allow it. There's
Yes.
pain two ways. There's pain if you keep going, and there's pain if you stop. It depends on which pain you choose in life. And I would hope to see that younger 15-year-old self develop into something great at my age, saying more and accomplishing more than I ever done. And if I can, before we end this, give you your flowers as well, because a lot of who I am as far as a businesswoman, as far as the grace when it comes to dealing with business, and the vision and the creativity, and how to conduct yourself in the midst of stressful environments, you have taught me that during different stages of your life and in my life when we were growing and learning together. Because like you said, this is not someone, I'm not someone new in your world. And who I was then, I absorbed like a sponge. So your excellence was made so perfect in my eyes during that time, to where I picked up a lot of those habits of excellence. So thank you for operating in excellence.
Thank you. And those days of helping to mold your life, I always knew there were greatness in you. And so I knew that I had to be hands on and couldn't let you run amok when you wanted to run amok. Uh, there was always this thing between Jay Chanel and I. When she would get into a place where I would just say to her, not today.
Not today.
And she would straighten right up. That's all I had to say to her.
Not
Not today. And she would straighten right up. And I am just so proud because she has always been obedient, not willing, but she's been obedient. And I am just so proud of you. So, once again, I want you all to go and support this film. It's on StreamYard, all avenues of StreamYard. You can go tonight, tomorrow, and watch it. And when you do, please go on my page and leave a comment that you watched it. Just let me know that you all watched Not a Victim, whether whichever Amazon, Voodoo,
Tuesday.
Hulu, whatever you watch it on, so that we can give Jay Chanel our support. I call her Jazz, and it's still trying to come out, but I'm trying to be who she is with her stage name. But that's my Jazz over there. And I am so grateful that you said yes to come on here tonight. I am looking forward to the future of what God is going to continue to do in your life. I speak the blessings of God to continually to show up in your life with creativity, with vision, and with ideas beyond your capacity, to the point where you will have your own studio, where there will be people coming in, where you'll be filming in your own studio. I speak that into your life. I call it forth because I know the greatness that is in you. And I believe that God, in this season, you said it before about open doors, and he's opening up the right doors, and you have already been discovered. So now all you have to do is walk into what it is. This is the one thing that I'm going to say so that we can end the show. I realize a lot of people stay where they are because of their environment. And when they're in a certain environment, they get stuck in that environment. And so, therefore, they don't complete the assignment on their lives because they stay stuck where they are. And when I realized that you were really, really serious, you took a big step and moved to a completely different area where you have no family, where you have no support in that particular area, but you said, if I am going to do what I'm going to do, I have to take a leap of faith. So whenever you are about to do something great, do not be afraid. Take that leap of faith and God will meet you where you are. So, Jay, what are your last words? What would you like to say to this audience tonight before we shut it down? But I just want to see one more time. I see 4 more pop up here, and just let's see if okay. Just congratulations coming from a lot of people, and we are so grateful for all of those. Remember now, Around the Table is a place where we feature authors, we feature speakers, feature business owners. And if you are any of those and you want to come on the show, please inbox me, DM me, and let's set up a date for you to come in. I right now the show is booked through March, but you can book for April, and we will be happy to give you a slot where you could come on and have your show. So, Jay, what would you like to say to us this evening in our closing?
Well, in closing, I forgot to mention that Not a Victim was a self-funded play in movie.
Wow.
And I could have let the littlest things, like I mentioned, stop me. And I didn't. And I want everyone to know, who are creators, who have a business, who want to start something. Start there, use what you have until you can get the tangible things on what you need to keep going. But don't let the little seeds or the little things stop you. Use that. And if you become a ruler over the small stuff, God will make you ruler over much.
Amen.
So you have what you have right now because God trusts you with that much. So use what you have wisely in this new season of your life. And in 2024, manage what you have with grace and with faith that it's going to get bigger and it's going to expand. Just make sure you're ready for that expansion. So everybody just keep going. I hope that my story pivots you enough to know that no matter what happens in your life, no matter the storms in between or the things you have to go through in between, those valley moments, keep going. There's pain if you keep going, but you're actually building the muscle. And so I'll leave everybody with that. And as I always say, yes, Victim is the name of my movie, but it's actually my movement in life, to where I now don't carry that victim mentality. And I always leave saying that I'm not a victim, you're not a victim, and we're not a victim. And that goes for anything in any circumstance in our life. And any problems that do come in your life, see them as good problems and not bad ones.
That is fantastic. Listen, you have been watching Around the Table. I am your vision coach and host, Alicia, and I'll be back next Friday night with another guest where we will sit down and chop it up around the table and get to know them as we got to know Jay Chanel tonight. And once again, please go and support her. Her film, Not a Victim, is showing live right now on all streaming channels. And then inbox me and let me know that you went and visited. So until next Friday, I am going to say what my cousin Lorraine always said. I hope you had a great day today and a better one tomorrow. God bless.
God bless.